Shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, and His Son, Hamashiach Yahawashi, whom the world calls Jesus Christ. My name is Yarapah, and welcome to another Friday night Sabbath service at the House of David. We are located at 191 Howard Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. Again, 191 Howard Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. We host Friday night services from approximately whenever the sun goes down. So depending on the season, it could be 7 o'clock, it could be 8 o'clock, it could even be 4 o'clock, okay? We host Friday night services from sundown to approximately 10 p.m. And then we host our regular Sabbath Saturday afternoon services from 12 p.m. noon to approximately 2:30 p.m. Again, at the same address of 191 Howard Avenue. Again, my name is Yarapah, and I will be presiding over tonight's Friday night service. And again, we just want to give Most High praise and glory for bringing us into another Sabbath day. Time is ticking. It seems like these days all roll together in one, and time just keeps moving and moving. That's how you know we're coming closer and closer to the end, to the time that the Most High sends His Son to redeem the children of Israel. Okay, so we're gonna, as I do every Friday night, every time I teach the Friday night class, I open up with honoring the Sabbath day and giving it its proper glory, because as we know, the world teaches that Sunday is the Sabbath day, and we know, coming into the truth, that the Most High never changed the Sabbath day. It was always Friday night sundown to Saturday night sundown, from the eve of the sixth day to the eve of the seventh day, where the Most High rested and sanctified that day. And we are commanded to keep this day holy, okay? Because it is a day that the Most High deemed holy. He sanctified this day, and man has changed it on their own. And we, coming back to our nationality, to the truth of the Most High's word, we are coming to understand that the Sabbath day is from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, and we will honor it and give it its glory as it is due. So I want to open up with Sirach 33 in the Apocrypha. Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, in the Apocrypha, chapter 33, verses 7 to 9. Okay? Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 33, verse 7 to 9.
Ecclesiasticus 33, verse 7. Why doth one day excel another, when as all the light of every day in the year is of the sun?
Right, so the Bible asks, why does one day excel another when we get the same light from the same sun every day of the year? The sun goes up, it rises in the east, and it sets in the west. Why is that? So what makes one day special of another when we have the same cycle every day, right? Go ahead.
By the knowledge of the Most High, they were distinguished.
By the knowledge of the Most High were the days distinguished, right? He makes the difference from one day to another. He's the reason why one day excels over another. Go ahead.
And He altered seasons and feasts.
Right, it was the knowledge of the Most High that He altered seasons, and therefore He's altered feasts. Because some seasons come before others. Every season is in its proper order. Right, we have spring, summer, fall, winter, and it goes in that order every year. It never changes. We'll never have summer, then winter, then fall, then spring, or we'll never have winter, then summer, then spring, then fall. The seasons never changed. It was all by the knowledge of the Most High, right? And because of those, the course of the seasons, the feasts fall in those seasons too. We have the spring feast, which is the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Passover. We have the summer feast, which usually is Pentecost. Then we have the fall feast, which is the memorial blowing of the trumpets, Day of Atonement, and the Feast of Tabernacles. And then we have the winter feast, which is Hanukkah. Those feasts fall in their proper seasons, all by the knowledge of the Most High, right? Go ahead.
The 9th verse. Some of them have He made high days. And hallowed them.
Some days the Most High made high days and hallowed them, meaning He made them sacred days, made them holy days. They're different days from every other ordinary day. Right? Go ahead.
And some of them have he made ordinary
and
days.
some he hath made ordinary days. Some days are just regular days. Sunday through Friday evening are ordinary days, unless there's a high holy day that falls within those days. But the seventh day of the week, of your weekly calendar, is the holy day, the Sabbath day that the Lord has ordained in us, right? And he ordained this way back in the beginning, right? We're going to read that right now. We go back to Genesis in the Bible, chapter 2, verse 1 to 3.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them.
Right, so this was the end of creation. The Most High had created everything, and the heavens and the earth and the host of them, meaning the things that inhabit those two realms. The animals, the human beings, the plants, we all inhabit the earth, and the angels and all the other beings that the heavenly hosts that the Most High created, they reside in the heavens. He made them and all that was in them, right? Go ahead.
And on the seventh day,
On the seventh day, the end of creation, the end of the sixth day goes into the seventh day, right? Go ahead.
Alahayim, which is the power, ended his work,
He ended his work. He stopped what he was doing, right? He rested. Go ahead.
which he had made.
He finished all his work. He stopped what he was doing, right? Go ahead.
And he rested on the seventh day
He rested on the seventh day, right? Go ahead.
from all his work which he had made.
And that's what Sabbath means. When you look at that Hebrew word Shabbath, right? It means rest or cease or end, stop, okay? When we say Amad Yom Sabbath, that means we stand at rest, meaning we're not doing anything. We're idle. And that's the day that the Most High rested and ended his work. Go ahead.
And the power blessed the seventh
He
day
blessed it. He sanctified it, right? Go ahead.
and sanctified it,
Like I said, he made it holy. He made it a sacred day, right? Go ahead.
because that in it he had rested from all his work which the power created and made.
Right. So on the end of that day, it's like sometimes when you have a grand opening, there's a special day. Like this is the first day of this venture or the first day of this particular time. The Most High had sanctified that day because he rested the day. He stopped. That's the day that he stopped what he was doing and said, this is a holy day. And therefore he commanded us to do the same thing, right? And we're going to read about that in Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Because
Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Exodus 20, Exodus 20, verse 8. Remember the Shabbath day,
right.
to keep it holy.
Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy, right? We are supposed to remember the Sabbath day so that way we can keep it holy, right? How do we keep it holy? Read on.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
Right, so we get 6 days out the week to do all our work. We get 6 days to do our shopping, our work around the house, to work for whoever we work for. We get 6 days to do everything, right? Go ahead.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Most High thy power.
Right, the seventh day of the week, from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, is the Sabbath day, right? Go ahead. Of the Most High, mind you. It's not our Sabbath day. We didn't make it up. We didn't decide that this is when it is. It is the Sabbath of the Most High, right? Go ahead.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
We're not supposed to do any work, right? Go ahead.
Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter.
Right. So it says us, nor our children. Our children are supposed to have the Sabbath day off. We're supposed to have the Sabbath day off. That goes for men and women. If you have a wife, you're both supposed to have the Sabbath day off. If y'all have children, you're both supposed to have the Sabbath day off, right? Go ahead.
Nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant.
So if you have people who work for you, right? You have people who tend to your house, tend to your property, or if you run a business and you have employees that work for you, they're supposed to have the Sabbath day off as well. If you have people who just who work on whatever you have, people who or you have a chauffeur even, right? If you employ people, or if you have people who work for you, Shalom Zach, if you have people who work for you, they're supposed to have the Sabbath day off as well, right? Go ahead.
Nor thy cattle, thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Right. So if you have animals, like if you have pets, right, they're supposed to have the Sabbath day off as well. If you have land and you have cattle on your land that till the ground for you, that reap whatever or do whatever they do for you, they're supposed to have the Sabbath day off as well. They're not supposed to be out in the fields plowing. They're not supposed to be out in the field running and working for you. They're supposed to have the Sabbath day off as well. And the strangers that are within thy gates, if people came into our land, right, people from other nations, they had to abide by the Sabbath day laws. They could not come into our land selling and buying and selling and trading and whatnot. They had to honor the Sabbath day. In fact, there are stories within the Sabbath, in the Bible, where, you know, there were people of other nations. They were lining up outside the city walls to try and sell to us on the Sabbath day. And Ezra was like, yo, y'all keep coming around here, I'm gonna have to lay hands on y'all, right? That's how serious it was. We were supposed to take the Sabbath day seriously, okay? Read on.
Can I say something to you,
Yeah,
Yarapah? And when you had these animals, cattle, sheep, and stuff like that, when they're with you, they become domesticated.
Mm-hmm.
So automatically, they knew when the Shabbath day was coming in, because they knew you didn't put them to work. So that became something instinctively in them that, my master let me rest on this day.
The animals are in tune,
Yeah.
too. They know.
Because that's what
They
Jacob did with Laban's sheep. He programmed them. You understand?
Yeah, that's a good way to program them. Absolutely. And in fact, tell a quick anecdote, right? My aunt, she had a cat. And whenever we would have services or whatever have you, she would come in and join the prayers with us. Like, she would be standing right next to us while we were doing the prayers. And during the Sabbath day, she would be chilling out most of the time. So she knew, she was in tune with us. You know, she always used to say that they had an Israelite cat, because they were always she was always involved with us with what we were doing, you know? So yeah, so animals, they know. They know, because they're more in tune with the Most High than we are sometimes, if you really think about it, right? Where do we leave off, Ben?
11th verse now.
Con.
Exodus 20, verse 11. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth,
Right.
the sea and all that in them is,
Right.
and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
And we read that in Genesis chapter 2. We read how the Most High created everything, the heavens and the earth, and the host thereof, meaning the animals, human beings, plant life, everything in the earth and everything in the heavens, the sun, the moon, the stars, the heavenly host, the angelic beings, and they rest on the Sabbath day too. They don't work. You know, the Most High stops them from what they were doing. He gave them law and said, yo, listen, on the Sabbath day we rest. We don't do anything. Okay? And what most people don't know is that the Sabbath day is actually a sign between the Most High and us. And we can read that in Exodus 31 and 17. All right? Exodus 31 and 17 tells us that the Sabbath day is a sign. Okay? Start at verse 14, Ben, if you don't mind.
Exodus 31, verse 14.
Actually, start at 13. I'm sorry.
Exodus 31, verse 13. Let me start from the 12th verse.
Go ahead.
Exodus 31 and 12. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying,
Speak unto the children of Israel, okay? Yasha'Allah, the 12 tribes, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those children, descendants of the slave trade, and those Native Indians that have spread throughout the world, right? Read on.
Saying, Verily, my Sabbaths ye shall keep.
He said, my Sabbaths you shall keep. Mine, I made it. I hallowed these days, right? It wasn't us. We didn't come up with this. We did not decide when the Sabbath day is. The Most High did. Okay, that's why he said, my Sabbaths ye shall keep. Go ahead.
For it is a sign between me and you.
See, it's a sign between me and you. Go ahead.
Throughout your generations.
Meaning throughout, as long as Israel exists, it is a sign. The Sabbath day is a sign between us. All right, it's a covenant. Right. Read on.
That ye may know that I am Yahweh, that doth sanctify you.
So that way we know that the Most High sanctified us. When we keep his Sabbath days, it is a signification that we're the ones sanctified by him. All right, read on.
You shall keep the Sabbath, therefore,
Uh-huh.
for it is holy unto you.
It is holy, it's sacred, it's special, it's separate from everything else. That's what holy means. It's sacred and it's cut apart. It's set apart from everything else. We treat it differently. Okay, read on.
Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death.
That's how serious the Sabbath day was to the Most High. He said, if anyone defiles the Sabbath, they are to be put to death. Okay? That's how serious the Most High took his Sabbath days. That if we defiled it in any way, we were to be put to death. Read on.
For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
And that was the penalty. That was the further penalty. You had to be cut off from Israel, especially during that time in the wilderness, because we were being tried in the furnace, meaning any little mistake got us cut out. Any little mistake. We had to wipe every Egyptian influence from us during that time. So the Most High was not playing when it came to his Sabbath days or any of his laws, really. Any little slip up, you died without mercy. All right? Because he wanted Israel to be pure when we went into the land. Read on.
And can I say, and that's the same thing he's going to do again the second time. He's going to bring us into the wilderness and take all that American garbage.
All of it.
Babylon, the great bullcrap off of us, man.
All of it's got to
wipe it out cleanly and thoroughly, man.
We call that, if you have a computer, you call that a hard reset, where you just wipe the hard drive clean and you got to reprogram it all over again, put in the right information, the right programs, because a computer may have a virus and you got to wipe everything clean. Just wipe the whole hard drive, and that's what he's going to do to us. We have to wipe the whole thing clean. All right, go ahead, Zach.
That's what I said. First of all, Shalom Mayavdor got here late, right? Because the Most High has reigned since I don't say that. You see how we said about the Sabbath day? That we know it's in the truth. We're in rehearsal right now, right? But as time, everything is, as everything is unfolding, it's going to be one nation under God. That's the whole fifth. Only thing I want to say is this.
Get to the point. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Get to the point. Yes.
The only thing I want to say is this, right? We're in rehearsal right now where people fail to realize that due to the fact we're in rehearsal, like when you rehearse for a movie, and we're in a Most High's movie, people fail to realize when he come back on this earth, his son, Mashiach Yahawashi, all he's going to be doing is killing, that's it. Because if you don't keep the Sabbath day, it's over.
That's it. That's it. We're
take this serious.
going to be tried in the furnace. As the scripture says, it's going to purge out the rebels during those days. And if they don't want to accept that this is the real Sabbath day, then there's the Most High is not going to have any use for them. Wow. All right? That's crazy. Go back, Ben.
All right. We're in the 15th verse. Exodus 31 and 15. 6 days may work be done.
6
but
days,
in
right?
the 7th is the Shabbath of rest, holy to the Most High.
Right.
Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death.
See, he said it twice for good measure because Israel doesn't hear. Israel don't listen. So he said, if you're found doing any kind of work on a Sabbath day, you're getting put to death. That's it. No ifs, ands, buts about it. All right. Read on.
16th verse. Wherefore the children of Yashar'Allah shall keep the Shabbath, to observe the Shabbath throughout their generations.
Right.
For a perpetual covenant.
Right. A perpetual covenant meaning continuous. Meaning it's continuous. It doesn't stop. At no point did the Most High say, okay, y'all don't have to keep the Sabbath day anymore. There was no point in history where he said that. None. Zero. You won't read it. Nor was there a point in history where he said the Sabbath day changed. Okay? Because you have the religions who say Sunday is the Sabbath day, or you have some other religions that say Friday is the Sabbath day, right? Or you have some sects within the Israelite community that say they'll think that the Sabbath will change from month to month because they go by the moon. And it's like, no, that was never the case. Okay? And if you don't get corrected, the Most High is going to put you to death. That's all there is to it. All right? Read on.
17th verse. It is a sign between me and the children of Yashar'Allah.
It is a sign between us, right? That's how we know that there's one of the many signs that of the children of Israel's relationship with the Most High, right? Go ahead.
Forever.
Forever, meaning from the beginning of time to the end of time. That's it. There's a big that's it. There's no other way. There's no other way to get around it. It says forever. All right, read on.
For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed.
And was refreshed, meaning he started over again. He was able to get his mind right, okay? Because creation was a very big project. It was a very big undertaking for everybody involved. So on the 7th day, he rested and commanded us to rest as well. All right? So for tonight's topic.
Yarapah,
go ahead.
I want to finish read 18 too.
Go ahead.
The reason why I want to read 18, all right? I'm going to tell you when I finish reading it.
Go ahead.
And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communion with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone written with the finger of the Most High.
Right, written with the finger. Well, it used to be up here, but we used to have like the 2 tablets of stone.
Yeah, we're gonna put it. I'm gonna put it back up. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go ahead, then.
Right, because you got certain Israelites that's saying that when Moses brought us out of the Exodus, we went back down further south, down deeper down into Africa.
Oh no.
Now, if you know geography perfectly well, Mount Sinai is not down further in the going down south in Africa. Mount Sinai is situated between the areas of Saudi Arabia and the wilderness of Egypt, but mainly in Saudi Arabia. That's where Mount Sinai is situated.
And the Bible actually says that.
And you got these nuts saying that Moses did not go up north. He went further down south, down into Africa.
No.
The Most High is going to destroy you nuts for bringing this heresy in. Okay?
Let's get that in real fast. It's in Galatians.
Galatians 3,
4:25. Galatians 4:25. Yes, Mount Sinai is not in Africa. It's in the wilderness between Saudi Arabia. Okay, I don't know where people got that from. This is the first.
Moses went further down south, going down to Ethiopia with the Exodus. It's sickening, man. Galatians 4:25. But Jerusalem, which is above.
That's 26. That's 26.
I want to read 25 too, because above means is up north. It's going north.
Okay, come on.
Because when we came out of Egypt, we went north. We didn't go further down south. Okay? Galatians 4:26. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all.
Right, and it's both Jerusalem is both figuratively and literally above Mount Sinai. Okay, because if you look at the geography of Jerusalem, it's a little bit more north of Mount Sinai. Am I correct?
Yeah, I forgot to read 25.
Yeah, but go ahead,
25 is the point. Yeah.
Yes.
Let me read it again. Galatians 4:25. For this is Hagar, is Mount Sinai in Arabia.
In Arabia. Where are people getting that from? That is further south into. Where is that? Where are they getting that? All right, go ahead.
And answereth to Jerusalem.
Yep, the answer is to Jerusalem, which is the city of peace. Okay, that's what Jerusalem means, which is the capital of our land. All right, go ahead.
Which now is and is in bondage with her children.
Right, see, Jerusalem is in bondage with her children, meaning we are in captivity. Even to this day, we're in captivity. Okay, go ahead.
But Jerusalem, which is above, is free.
It's free,
which is the mother of us all.
Right, and Jerusalem, like I said, literally and figuratively is above Mount Sinai. It's more north, it's a little bit more north than Mount Sinai, and it's above in stature and status, okay, because Jerusalem is the capital. That's where the Most High put his name. Yes, we communed with the Most High on Mount Sinai, but he said, I put my name in Jerusalem. That's where you come to worship me, okay?
I can add to that too.
Of
and now,
course.
don't get us wrong. Israel is northeast Africa. Northeast. Okay? So Moses did not go down further south, going down to Ethiopia with the Exodus.
No, he did
People
not.
got to stop that, man. And they got people believing that foolishness that the Exodus went further south down into Ethiopia.
No.
It went up north. Moses went up north when he came out of Egypt. Understand? I guess we don't know geography, or they try to deny the facts to incorporate Africa. You understand? But they're going to be in for a rude awakening.
And this is why the scripture says, hold on, give me, I think it's 1 Corinthians, where it said we look through a glass darkly, and he said, before you know in part, then give me that.
Yeah. 1 Corinthians,
It might be the 11th chapter, no? No.
I'll tell you right now, it's no, I think it's the 13th chapter. Let's see,
Yeah, you're right. It's the 13th chapter, 13:9.
Yes. 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter, and the 9th verse. It says, for we know in part, and we prophesy in part.
Right, we don't know everything. We don't know everything. So therefore, we only speak to what we know. Right? That's what he means. We know in part, therefore we prophesy in part. Meaning we only speak to what the Most High allows us to know. Okay? Read on.
And the Most High gives certain information to certain groups.
Absolutely.
Nobody has the monopoly on the Most High truth.
Exactly. That's a big thing right there. Because if Paul is saying this, and Paul was above all of us, right? He communed with the Most High and Yahawashi directly, right? And only he knows a certain amount of information. So what makes us get all high and mighty to say, no, I got the truth.
We getting it second or third hand.
Like, come on, right? Read on.
All right, the 10th verse. But when that which is perfect is come.
Which is Yahawashi, right? That
then
which is perfect
which is in part shall be done away.
Right. So that what we don't know will get revealed to us in that last day. And Yahawashi is going to be the one to clear up all the cobwebs, all the misunderstandings, all the different doctrines, all the like we said earlier, all the American nonsense that we've been learning, and the misconceptions that we have about the world, about the Bible, about ourselves, about humanity, about the Most High, him too, right? All of that is going to get done away with. All of it will be revealed in that day. Right? Read on.
11th verse of 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter and 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child and thought as a child.
Right.
But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
Hey, Ben, can you turn up the volume just a little bit, please? On me? On my microphone?
On yours?
Yeah, on mine. I'm getting messages saying to turn up the volume.
Wow, that's strange.
It's always me. I don't know. Why is it always me?
I don't see why it's...
Or maybe I'm just not loud enough. I feel like I am.
It's both of them are up.
Both of them up all the way?
Yeah, it's up. All right, try it and see it, because everything is up, yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to keep going.
I don't know why.
Maybe I'll just hold it like this.
All right, so let me read that 11th verse again.
All right, go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child.
Right, so when we were children, we thought childishly and we spoke childishly, meaning we had no understanding, we had no maturity, right? We had no thought process. Go on.
I thought as a
I
child.
thought like a child, meaning I didn't think about the weightier matters, right? I didn't think about things beyond myself, right? Go ahead.
But when I became a man.
When I became a man, when I grew up, when I gained some wisdom, when I learned properly, right? Go ahead.
I put away childish things.
I put all that childish stuff away. I stopped thinking about things that are only pleasing to my flesh, things that only concern me, right? I stopped thinking about the smaller things. I started thinking about the bigger things in the world, right? Go ahead.
For now we see through a glass darkly.
Right, now we're looking through a glass, of meaning we can't really see the full picture. It's like looking into tinted windows, right? Think of it like that when the police pull you over and you got your windows rolled up and it's dark out, they have to shine their flashlight on you, right? So that way, because your windows are tinted too darkly, that's how we're looking at through the oracles of the Most High right now. Looking through a window darkly, right? Trying to get the picture, trying to see what exactly he's trying to reveal to us. Go ahead.
But then, face to face.
Meaning we're going to know eventually everything that the Most High wants us to know. The fullness of that knowledge will come to fruition at the end, right? Go ahead.
Now I know in part.
Now I know in part. I don't know everything. Okay? This is Paul saying it. So therefore we know even less in part because we don't know everything either. Right? Go ahead.
But then shall I know even as also I am known.
Right. So even then, as I am known, eventually I will know everything too. That's what he's saying, because the Most High Yahawashi is going to reveal everything to us in the end. Okay?
And can I say this too? Paul had a lot of wisdom and knowledge of the Most High revealed to him above the disciples, man.
Man, listen.
Paul was on such a level, man, that will blow you away, man.
He had power that the other disciples didn't have, right? He had wisdom that the other disciples didn't have. And even he's saying, look, I don't know everything. I don't know. I don't have all the deep, dark breakdowns of the Most High. I don't have it all. But eventually, I'll get there. Mm-hmm. So how can we sit here and say, yeah, we got the full truth. We know everything. The Most High is dealing with me on such a level. No, he's not. All right? No, he's really not. But we'll get there. If we stay the course, if we keep the faith.
All of us will get there eventually.
Exactly. We will all get there. Okay? Just stay the course and keep humility. Stay humble. Lead your congregations correctly. Okay? That's how we'll get there. You don't want to be a cast off at the end. All right? So, tonight's topic, right? Speaking of leadership, right? We're going to talk about Yahawashi as the ultimate leader, okay? Some of the traits and characteristics that he had as a leader that we as Israelites can adopt, I should say, so that way we can become leaders just like him. And that way the world will look at us like they looked at him, okay? How our people can look at us like leaders like Yahawashi was, all right? Because when Yahawashi was on the scene, people looked to him for guidance, for instruction, for wisdom, right? For healing, and for the revealing of the Most High, right? They wanted to know more about the Most High, and they knew that they could go to him for it, all right? So he demonstrated certain traits and characteristics that will help us, that he left as an example for us, so that way we can know how to behave and walk like him, all right? So one of the first traits of a great leader, which Yahawashi did, was he trusted us to do your job, right? When you're a leader, you have to trust that your subordinates can do their job effectively, right? So I want to go to Matthew chapter 10, verse 1. Right? Matthew chapter 10, verse 1. And I want to read I want to read the 15, but I feel like we can get to the point even further. But go ahead, Ben.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples,
mm-hmm.
he gave them power against unclean spirits,
right,
to cast them out,
mm-hmm.
and to heal all manner of sicknesses and all manner of disease.
Right. He said he called him the 12 disciples and gave them power to do this, right? To do all these things, meaning he trusted them with the ability that he was about to give them, right? To trust them to do it, to use their power wisely and safely and accurately, right? Read on.
Now the names of the 12 apostles are these.
Mm-hmm.
The first, Simon.
Right.
Who is called Peter.
Now notice Simon Peter was first, right? Because he's the chief apostle, right? Go ahead.
And Andrew, his brother.
Andrew, his brother, uh-huh.
James, the son of Zebedee.
Right, James, the son. Those top three that were first mentioned were Yahawashi's closest disciples, all right? Read on.
And John, his brother.
John's his brother, right? Go ahead.
Philip and Bartholomew.
Uh-huh.
Thomas and Matthew, the publican.
Thomas was a publican. He was a tax collector, right? Go ahead.
James, the son of Alphaeus.
Uh-huh.
And Lebbaeus, whose surname was Thaddeus.
Thaddeus, right? Go ahead.
Simon the Canaanite,
Uh-huh.
which actually was Simon the Zealot.
Simon
it
the
wasn't
Zealot,
really
right.
Canaanite.
Right.
Okay, that's just like a typo or a miss because of not perfecting and having the right Hebrew understanding. Because the Hebrew word for zealot is Qua'anan.
Qua'anaya.
And the Hebrew name for Canaan is Quananan,
Quananan,
almost the
right.
same. All right, but the true translation should have been Simon the Zealot, which is Hebrew is Quana. All right.
I feel like he calls him Simon the Zealot in
Yeah,
other
the
parts.
Zealot. He was a Zealot. Yeah.
Right. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm gonna read what it says here. Simon the Canaanite. All right, and Judas Iscariot, who also betrayed him.
So even he gave Judas power to cast out spirits. Even though he knew that Judas was set to betray him, he still trusted him while he was, before the betrayal came, to actually go out and do the ministry, right? Go ahead.
Okay, it says too in the translation here, because the Hebrew name for Canaanite is Ka'anan.
Ka'anan, right.
With a Q, with a K. All right, and Zealot is spelled with a Q. All right, so I'm gonna have the same pronunciation, but it's slightly different.
Slightly different, okay.
One is spelled with a K, and one is spelled with a Q.
Actually, I never knew that, but thank
Right?
you for that.
Canaan is spelled Ka'anan
Ka'anan.
with a K, and Zealot is spelled with Quana'ain with a Q.
Khan.
All right.
Appreciate that, Ben.
Okay. So now I'm gonna read the 5th verse now. These 12 Yahawashi sent forth and commanded them, saying, "Go not into the way of the Gentiles."
Right. So meaning don't start, not only don't go into their lands, but don't start adopting their ways either, because he's about to send them. Remember, it said he sent them forth, right? Meaning out of Jerusalem, out of their comfort zone, really. Remember, they were operating mostly in Israel, in the southern kingdom, right? But now he's got to send them outward into parts unknown. But he's warning them. He said, listen, don't go into the ways of the Gentiles. Meaning, don't go into their lands, not just yet. I mean, these other countries, these other nations, right? Go ahead.
And into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
Right, meaning don't go into their cities. That's specific. Don't go into the Samaritan cities, right? Because remember, at this point, the northern kingdom was inhabited by other nations with little sprinkles of Israelites there, but mostly those other nations had came in after the northern kingdom was taken captive in 722 BC. These other nations got put there, right, and inhabited the land and passing themselves off as Israelites. He's telling him, yeah, don't go to those people. No, don't go there, right? Go ahead.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Right, so he's telling them, listen, go find your people, all right? Don't worry about the other nations right now. Don't worry about the heathen. Don't worry about the Samaritans. Don't worry about them, but go find the lost sheep of the house of Israel, okay? Meaning those Israelites that fell out of the way, go find them. Go talk to them, all right? Go teach them. Go heal them, all right? Read on.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
You see, kingdom of heaven is at hand, meaning it's time. The time is coming. The time is near, all right? Read on.
Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers,
Right.
raise the dead.
Raise the dead, mean both literally and figuratively. Raise the dead, and those that are dead spiritually, give them life. Teach them this Bible. Teach them this word. Teach them that the Messiah has come, and you have a chance now. Give them life, right? Read on.
Cast out devils.
Cast out the devils, meaning purge out the unclean spirits, those unclean thought processes that they have, right? The ways of the heathen, the sin that's in them, curse, cast them out, right? Read on.
Freely ye have received, freely give.
Right. So as we receive this gospel freely, give it freely. Don't take bribes for it. Don't get paid for it. Don't require anything of it. Don't charge people for it. Right. Just as I freely gave you this word, freely give it out. You understand? Read on.
Ninth verse.
Uh-huh.
Provide neither gold nor silver nor brass in your
Right,
purses,
so they don't even take any money, right? Go ahead.
nor scrip for your journey,
Uh-huh.
neither two coats, neither shoes nor yet staffs.
Right, he's like, don't just pack up all your entire life and leave, right? But just go and do this work. Just go out there, right? Go ahead.
For the workman is worthy of his meat.
Word. So as you go along and you teach this gospel, you will receive all of those things. That will be your payment. People will lodge you. People will hand you clothing and food and money out of their own free will because they believe in what you're doing. That's going to be your reward, right? The Most High will take care of you essentially as you go along in this journey, right? Read on.
And into whatsoever city or town ye shall enter,
Uh-huh.
inquire who in it is worthy,
Right.
and there abide till ye go thence.
Right. So when you go into these cities, you find out who's trustworthy enough to house you, to lodge you, and you stay there until it's time to move along. Right? Go ahead.
And when ye come into an house, salute it.
Right. Give it a shalom, give it a blessing. Say, thank you for letting me stay here. Thank you for receiving me. Thank you for hearing me. Now I must go. Right? Go ahead.
Okay, it says, and it's either two formal salutes that we give. We either give shalom laka
Peace to you. Right.
or,
Yes.
or Yahweh barakatha. Yahweh be blessed. All right. Okay.
That's where, real quick, that's where the Muslims get the assalamu alaikum from. Shalom al yakab.
Shalom be unto you. Peace be unto you.
Peace be upon you. Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
13.
13. And if the house be worthy, let your peace be upon it.
Right. Be a good blessing to this house, right? Let your peace come unto it, meaning give people the respect in their house, respect their rules, respect their houses, respect the everything about this person's house, right? Go ahead.
But if it be not worthy, let your peace return to you.
If they're not receiving you, just go. All right? Don't leave the house. Excuse me. Don't leave the house with just, or cast your pearls before swine, right? Take everything back. All right,
Don't
listen.
leave no peace or blessings upon it.
I'm out. Thank you for having me, but I must go. Right? Go ahead.
14th verse. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust off your feet.
Don't even trip. If they're not gonna listen to you, okay. I'm packing my stuff up, dusting my feet off. All right, I'm out. I did my part. If you don't want to listen, that's on you. Okay, that I gave you the word. I gave you the truth. You don't want to hear it. I'm not gonna force you to listen. I'm not gonna fight you on it. I'm gonna just go. All right. Bye. Go ahead.
15th verse.
Verily,
I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah
right.
in the day of judgment than for that city.
So he's telling them they're going to receive a worse judgment than Sodom and Gomorrah did. And so Sodom and Gomorrah got wiped off the map.
Wasted.
Just completely destroyed after Lot left. Okay? He's saying it's going to be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah than for that city if they don't receive your words. Right? But you see how he's trusting them to go about this gospel and teach. Go about the world and teach this gospel. Okay? Only a good leader will trust you to do that. Okay? Now read verse 16 just to wrap that part up. Go ahead.
Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents.
Wise as serpents, right?
And harmless as doves.
Right. So he's telling them, listen, you are going to be in danger when you're doing this. But I trust you enough. I trust that you are faithful enough to do this the correct way. Behold, I send you as sheep among prey amongst predators, right? But I'm also going to tell you, be wise as a serpent, because a serpent is a very wise and intelligent creature. Especially, I don't know if any of y'all are like hip to different snake breeds, but if you know anything about a king cobra, right? They said that king cobras are very intelligent snakes because they know how to hunt well, they know how to protect themselves, and they know they know how to read humans, right? They know how conserve their energy and their efforts and not waste their venom. Okay. So he's telling them, listen, be wise as a serpent, but as harmless as a dove, meaning don't go around beating people over the head with the Bible. You can't do that. We can't beat people over the head with the scriptures. If they don't want to listen, that's on them. You just have to tell them, hey, listen, you don't believe it? Okay, fine. But this is what it is. All right. Now,
can I go back to 15 too?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Because 15 was pertaining to that day too, when he was speaking to them, and also to today while we're speaking. Because this is what it says. And it said, verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah
in the day of judgment,
than for that city. So this destruction that's coming, this fire here,
it's gonna be crazy.
Oh man,
it's gonna be hectic.
People don't know, man.
It's gonna be hectic that day. Think about it. There's gonna be women giving birth in that day. There's gonna be weddings going on and all kinds of stuff going on that day. And he said it's gonna be more tolerable than for Sodom and Gomorrah in that day, right? It's going to be a heavy day. So imagine them hearing this and thinking, wow, we have that kind of influence that if they don't listen to us, it's going to be worse than Sodom and Gomorrah.
Judgment. They heap that fire upon them own self.
That's true. That's true. So yes, good leaders trust you to do your job. Number 2, good leaders seek your input, okay? They seek the input of their followers, right? So let's go to Matthew 16, verse 13. Matthew chapter 16, verse 13. Because he asked his disciples what they thought about certain things. He asked them their opinions, how they felt about, especially one particular topic, about who he might be, right? Go ahead, Ben.
Okay, Matthew's the 16th chapter and the 13th verse. When Yahawashi came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am?
Right, so he asked them. He said, who do people think that I am? What's the word on the street about me? What are they saying about me? Right, go ahead.
And they said, some say that thou art John the Baptist.
Right, now they said, well, some of them think that you're John the Baptist. Mind you, John the Baptist had already died at this point. And remember, they coexisted at the same time, so how could he be John the Baptist? Right? They were on the scene at the same time. In fact, John baptized Yahawashi. We all know this. So how can he be John the Baptist? So this was the talk about him. He said that some people think that you're John the Baptist, right? Go ahead.
Some Elijah.
Right. Some people think that you're Elijah, come back from the dead, right? Go ahead.
And others Jeremiah. Or one of the prophets.
Right. And people think, so you might be one of the prophets returned. All right, this is what the people thought about him. This is what people were thinking of Yahawashi, right? But listen to what he says next, right? Go ahead.
But then why would they think that? Because they knew that reincarnation was something real.
Thing. Yep,
why would they say that?
They understood it. We don't understand it now, but they knew. They knew that the Most High will send that spirit back into the earth. They knew that, right? Go ahead.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, why would they think that he's one of the prophets? Which one? Read on.
The 15th verse. And he saith unto them, but whom say ye that I am?
He said, okay, but that's what they say. Now, what do y'all think? Who do y'all say that I am? What's the word on the street about me amongst y'all? What are y'all thinking? Let me see who's thinking, right? Go ahead.
And Simon Peter answered and said.
Now, Simon answered first. Peter answered first. Okay, go ahead.
Thou art the Mashiach, the Son of the living Yahweh.
Right, he said, you are the Messiah. He said it immediately. He said, you're the Messiah. You are it. Okay, that's what I think. I think you're the Messiah, right? There's no other way. There's no other explanation. Listen, you're more than a prophet. You're more than John the Baptist. You're more than a priest. You're the Messiah, the Son of the living power. You are the Son of the Most High. That's what Peter thought about him, right? Go ahead.
17th verse. And Yahawashi answered and said unto him, blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah.
Right, he said, listen, blessed are you. You are a blessed man, right? Go ahead.
For flesh and blood have not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven.
Right. So Peter didn't have to be convinced that he was the Messiah. He didn't have to be persuaded through man that he was the Messiah. He didn't read a book and say, okay, yeah, you line up here, you line up there, you line up now. No, Peter didn't need any of that. He said the Most High revealed it to him, put it in his spirit to accept Yahawashi as his Savior, as the Messiah, right? Read on.
18. And I say also unto thee.
Right, and look at what Peter's reward is because it was revealed to him, right? Go ahead.
That thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church.
Right, and that's what Peter means. It means stone, right? It means a rock. Peter's name is actually Simon or Shemaiwan, right? Meaning herd. But Yahawashi gave him the name Peter because he said, I will build my church upon you. You're the foundation, Peter, right? Go ahead.
And the gates of hell shall not prevail against
And
it.
the gates of hell, that's some power right there. He said, "You listen, the gates of hell not going to prevail against you. They'll come against you, but they won't win." Right? And Peter, and we read Peter's his story, he went through some trials and tribulations too, but he never folded. Right? He never folded when it came to Yahawashi's leadership or his apostleship. He never abandoned the faith. Right? And we're reading about him to this day as the chief apostle. Right? Go ahead.
And everybody knew that. Even Paul knew that too. Everybody knew he was the chief apostle Yahawashi set up. And they respected that. They didn't try to overthrow his position. You understand? They knew that he was the man that Yahawashi put in that place.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because when Rakar taught the other day, and he's something that he said, I forgot exactly what he said, but it dawned on me, wow, they never betrayed each other. The disciples, when they became apostles, they never once tried to backstab each other.
Nope.
They never tried to say, oh, no, you're not the apostle. Hey, no one came to Peter and said, you betrayed him or you denied him 3 times. How are you in charge? They all said, no, Peter's the leader.
That's
okay.
right.
And even Paul, he said when he went to Jerusalem after 3 years, he said, I didn't see any of the other disciples except Peter and James. Right? So they always respected Peter as the lead apostle.
And he said those were the pillars of the church. That's what Paul said.
As they were, right? Read on.
Okay, 19 verse.
19, yep.
And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven.
Right. Think about the power that Yahawashi gave Peter. Right? Just because he answered a pretty simple question. He said, who do you think I am? He said, no, you're the Messiah. He said, look, you're going to be the leader of the church, and I'm going to give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. The keys to the kingdom. Right? Go ahead.
And whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven.
Meaning whatever Peter sets in stone here on earth, whatever he ordains or orchestrates in the spirit of the Most High and Yahawashi, it will be recognized in the heavens. The Most High and the angels and Yahawashi will honor that thing. Right? That's the type of power that Peter had. Okay, read on.
And whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loose in heaven.
And it works in the opposite too, meaning whatever Peter decides to do away with, as long as it doesn't violate the commandments or violate the word of the Most High, is going to be honored in heaven too. All right? It's going to be honored in earth as it is in heaven. That's the type of power that Peter was given just because he believed in the Most High and Yahawashi. He believed that Yahawashi was the Messiah. All right? Read on.
Then charged he his disciples that they should tell no man that he was Yahawashi HaMashiach.
Right. He said, look, keep this amongst ourselves. All right. Because he didn't want the people to know just yet. It wasn't his time to know. But amongst them, he asked them, he said, look, what do y'all think? Okay. Who do y'all think that I am? He sought their input, and that's what good leaders do. They'll ask their subjects, okay, what do you guys think about this? What do y'all think about that? How do y'all think we should go about this? How do y'all think we should go about that? Okay, should we go here or should we go there? Give me some ideas, right? They'll bounce things off of their subjects. Like even when I was a supervisor, right? I used to ask my men, I used to like, okay, who's doing this tonight? Who's going up there? Who's going over there? Who wants to set out the lights? All right. How are we going to go about this? Anybody have any ideas about how to make this repair? What are we doing? Okay. I always used to always ask their input because that way they feel included. Okay, they feel like they're being cultivated to make decisions. Okay, so number 3, right?
And can I say this too? And
Absolutely.
this, what Yahawashi had here was a exclusive family member organization. Okay, well organized and well oiled to provide the specific job that the Most High wanted. Because none of these men deter or falter from the position that was given them to finish this mission.
Absolutely.
They all held their position till the end.
Absolutely. And that's because they had that perfect example, because Yahawashi did the same thing. He never faltered from his position. Remember, we went over last week how Yahawashi could have altered the course of history if he felt like it, right? He could have strayed from the course and say, you know what, I want to do the things the way that I want to do it. I think it should be like this. And he didn't. And because he didn't, neither did his disciples. They didn't fall out of line either. Even Judas followed his program directly, exactly what the Most High made him to do. Judas went along with it. He was the one that was set to betray him. And he never fell from that.
That's a hell of a course, man. A destiny, man.
That was his destiny. Absolutely. But yet he followed the course. And Yahawashi never stopped him.
Nope.
He said, look, go do what you got to do. Do what you came to do. Do your part now. Your time has come. Go. Right? He never antagonized Judas. He never even revealed Judas. Judas revealed himself. Okay? Because he said, look, everybody's at the table. Who's like, is it me? Me? Am I going to betray? No, it can't be me. And then he said, look, whoever I dip my hand in the salt with, that's it.
It's cold, man.
That's it. Right? And once Judas found out, oh man, it's me. He knew it was time to act. And he told him, look, go do what you got to do. Run along now. Right? So that's what good leaders do. They seek your input. Number 3, right? Good leaders let you shine. Okay? They let you get your shine on too. All right? So from here, we're going to go to Matthew chapter 14, verse 22. Now this story is a little lesson for all of us, because this time they were trying to get something done, but they just couldn't. But Yahawashi still gave them that opportunity to shine. They just couldn't follow through with it. All right. This is a different story. Salakia. Go ahead, read it.
Matthew 14, 22.
Yep.
And straightway Yahawashi constrained his disciples to get into a ship and to go before him unto the other side, while he sent the multitudes away.
Right. This was after the 2 fish and 5 loaves. Okay. So Yahawashi sent his disciples away while he went up into the mountain to go pray. He said, listen, get on the ship and I'll meet y'all later. Right. Go ahead.
And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone.
Right.
But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves.
Right.
For the wind was contrary.
Right. There was a powerful wind that was overtaking the ship. Right. Go ahead.
And in the 4th watch of the night, Yahawashi went unto them, walking on the sea.
Right. So now in the 4th hour, right, Yahawashi, they look out in the sea and see Yahawashi walking. Right. Now imagine this. It's dark. It's midnight, and you see a man walking on the sea, and turns out it's Yahawashi. Because remember, he never met them on the boat. So now he's got to catch up to him. And he's catching up to him by walking on the sea. Right? Go ahead.
And can I say something too? And all the naysayers that deny that he walked in the sea said, yeah, the reason why he did because it was frozen water. That's why he did it. Now, dummy, the water doesn't get frozen over there in Jerusalem.
Oh my goodness, where does this stuff come from? Where y'all be hearing this stuff? I've never heard this stuff.
Yeah, because they don't want to acknowledge that a man can walk on water.
Goodness me. Oh my goodness. It gets cold in Israel, but not that cold. The lake won't freeze over, and plus there's a lot of saltwater lakes in that part of the world. They don't particularly freeze over either, right? Oh my goodness. Where does this stuff come from? Read on, Ben. Good Lord.
Matthew 14:25. And in the fourth watch of the night, Yahawashi went unto them walking on the sea.
Mm-hmm.
And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, it is a spirit.
They thought it was a demon out there on the water, right? They were scared, right? Go ahead.
And they cried out for fear.
For fear. They were afraid of what they were looking at. They was like, oh, nah, it's a spirit. No, run. I mean, imagine you look out in the water, you see someone walking on the water. You're probably going to think that it's a spirit, right? Go ahead.
But straightway Yahawashi spake unto them, saying, be of good cheer.
Mm-hmm.
It is I.
Right.
Be not afraid.
Right. He's like, no, it's just me. It's just me. Calm down. It's just me. Read on.
When I see from this here too, Yahawashi is a trip to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what he was doing, he was there to see how they're going to react to it too.
Exactly. This is the point that I was trying to make with this. He's like, he gives them an opportunity to shine, to show their faith, right? Because now I want to see what you're going to do. I want to see how you're going to react in this situation, right? Go ahead.
The 28th verse. And Peter answered him and said, Other one,
Mm-hmm.
if it be thou,
If it's you, Lord, go ahead.
bid me come unto the water.
Right. He said, look, if it's you, let me come out to the water. I need to know for sure that it's you. Right? Go ahead.
And he said, Come.
He's like, come on down, Peter. Come on. Come on out. Right? Giving him an opportunity to show his faith, to shine, to prove that he really believes in this mission and really believes in him. Remember, we just read that he believed that he was the Messiah, right? So now, okay, Yahawashi is giving the opportunity to prove it. All right, go ahead.
And he said, Come.
Mm-hmm.
And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the
He
water
walked on the water too, right? Go ahead.
to go to Yahawashi.
He said he walked on the water and started making his way to him. So you know that he was stepping out of the boat all scared and dipping his toe, and once he finally got on solid ground with the water, you know what I mean? He started walking towards him. Go ahead.
But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid.
Right.
And beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Other one, save me.
See, now once the wind came, Peter started to get scared. And you can look at this, right? You can look at this whole, I mean, just these two verses alone, right? 29 and 30. You can look at that as your walk in the truth or walk in the gospel, because when you walk in, right, you see Yahawashi out there, but you see him standing on water. You don't think that you can walk on water. So you said, Yahawashi, if it's you, let me come, right? And if you start walking on water, you're very timid at first. You're kind of scared and you're not sure. You might drown or you might fall away, but you keep walking on that faith, right? Until the wind comes, until something happens, something start happening in your life, and you just like, and then you start sinking, right? If you continued with your faith, you'd be able to make it out there. But because the wind came and kind of almost knocked him off of his feet, he started to be afraid and he started to sink, right? Read on.
31. And immediately Yahawashi stretched forth his hand and caught him.
Caught him, right? Immediately caught him. He saw him sinking. Go ahead.
And said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt?
He said, why'd you doubt? You were almost there.
You were doing it.
You was doing it. Why'd you stop? Go ahead, Zach.
I just want to say, add on to that. You see how, like you said, like the same thing in today's world, right? People need to realize, especially those that don't believe, when your house out walking on the sea, right? Then when Peter said, "This you bid me to come," he told him, right? So we got to stay focused.
Yeah.
If you would have just kept
If he had just kept looking at him,
right,
he would have been good.
Right, but see, when the boisterous wind, what was that? That was a distraction, am I right? That was a distraction.
That was his
So,
distractions,
so
yes.
I mean, like, say for like, look, just a half a second away, that's a distraction.
Absolutely.
So now, us in the world today, we got to stay focused.
Absolutely. If he
Alright.
had just kept his focus and kept looking at Yahawashi, like I'm looking into this camera, he would have been fine.
It would have been fine.
He would have been fine.
Right. So today's world,
But he got, that wind just knocked him off.
So now
Okay.
today's world, right, if we stay focused, we're going to be able to do things, everything.
Absolutely. If we stay focused, we can meet Yahawashi out on the water. It's really that simple. We just have to stay focused. All right.
Stay the course.
Stay the course. As we read in Second Ezra, where it says the walkway is straight and fire on one side, water on the other, and we walking, some gonna fall into the fire, some gonna fall into the water. But the point is to get out of the fire and get out of the water and get back on the course and keep going, because it's gonna happen. Very few are gonna still stay on that path the entire way. Some of us are going to fall into the water. Some of us are going to fall into the fire. But the point is to get out of that, to get back on the course and keep walking. If you might get burned, you might get burned. But you know what? What do Yahawashi say? Where it's better to walk in the kingdom maimed with one eye, one arm, one leg than your whole body cast into hell, right? It's better to do that than just fall into the fire and burn to death, or fall into the water and drown. No, you got to get up out of the water, get back on the course, and keep going. And if Peter had did that, he would have met Yahawashi at the sea. But you see, Yahawashi gave him the opportunity to do that, to test his faith, to show him, yes, this is what you can do if you believe. And that's what good leaders do, right? Now,
and what this also shows too, that even though you could be strong, you still have your weak points too.
Absolutely.
Your weak points and your strong points.
Absolutely. And everybody's got them, because Peter got them too. All right. Remember, like we always say, Peter was the chief apostle, but Peter had this moment of weakness right here that we just read about. Peter denied Yahawashi 3 times before his crucifixion. And Paul had to check Peter at one point, because Peter was out here in the world cutting up a little bit. And he had to tell him, like, listen, if you are a Jew, why do you live as the Gentiles? Why? Okay, he had to correct Peter at one point, and Peter didn't be like, you know what, Paul, you out of order, you out of line. Why are you talking to me like this? Don't you know I'm the chief apostle? Peter was like, you know what, you're right.
Yeah, he confronted him, man. Went to his,
he face to face. He said, look, why are you, as a Jew, living as the Gentiles? He said that to him. Paul said that to him, and then Peter was like, you know what, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I need to get my act together.
Peter didn't like take it like say, yeah, you coming at me like that? Who are you?
Who are you?
Yo, check
You're
yourself.
A murderer.
Yeah.
You know. Number 4, right? They recognize your contributions. Good leaders recognize your contributions. So jump to Matthew 17, verses 14 to 21.
Matthew 17, 41.
14 to 21.
Oh, okay. Matthew 17 and the 14th verse. And when they were come to the multitude, they came to him a certain man kneeling down to him and saying.
So this was after Yahawashi had transfigured before James, John, and Peter, right? They're coming from the member. Yahawashi's closest 3 disciples, his 3 main disciples were Peter, James, and John, right? They were the ones who saw the transfiguration. The other ones didn't see it, all right? So they came down to a multitude. They left the mountain, came down to a multitude, right? Go ahead.
Other one, have mercy on my son. For he is a lunatic.
Right, he's a lunatic, meaning he's bugged out. This boy is bugged out, right? Go ahead.
And sore vexed.
And sore vexed, meaning something's got a strong hold on him, right? Go ahead.
For oftentimes he falleth into the fire. And off into the water.
And so we talked about that fire and that water before. Sometimes this boy's throwing himself into the fire. This boy's throwing himself into the water, trying to drown himself. Something wrong with this boy. I don't know. This is a strong demon on him. Right? Go ahead.
And I brought him to thy disciples.
He said, I brought him to your disciples. Right? Those men that are under you. Right? Go ahead.
And they could not cure him.
They couldn't cure him. They could not cure him. Your disciples tried, but they couldn't do it. Right? Go ahead.
Then Yahawashi answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you?
He started to get mad. He was like, oh, these people, you niggas, oh my God, how long am I have to put up with y'all, right? Go ahead.
How long shall I suffer you?
How long I got to deal with y'all? How long I got to put up with this? How long? Go ahead.
Bring him hither to me.
So you can see Yahawashi was getting stressed out, because it was like, here we go again, right? Go ahead.
And Yahawashi rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour.
So at that very hour, the moment Yahawashi stepped on the scene, the child was cured of the devil, right? That spirit left him immediately. And look what his disciples say. Go ahead.
Then came the disciples to Yahawashi apart and said, why could not we cast him out?
Right.
So they pulled Yahawashi to the side privately and asked him,
It's like, what did you do differently that we didn't do? Like, what's the deal here? Like, how come we couldn't do it? Right? Go ahead.
And what I see from this is Yahawashi is showing us that that's something we have to do. That's the power that he's given us. And that's like a recommended for us. That should be the least thing that we should be able to do.
Absolutely.
We should
Cast
strive
out
for that.
demons. Absolutely. We have to work on it, but this is how we're going to get it done. This in the 20th verse, this is how we get it done. Go ahead.
And Yahawashi, Matthew 17:20, and Yahawashi said unto them, because of your unbelief.
Right. That's why we can't do this right now, because some of us just really don't have the belief to do it, that we can. But but Yahawashi said, look, you can do this if you believe it, right? He recognized that they were trying, but he said, look, this is why you couldn't get it done. Read on.
For verily I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed.
A mustard seed is one of the smallest seeds on the planet, but it grows into a humongous tree, right? Go ahead.
Ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence.
Get out of here.
To yonder place.
Leave here and go over there. You can command a mustard tree or a mountain and say, leave here, go over there, right? Go ahead.
And it shall remove. And nothing shall be impossible unto you.
You can do anything with just a little bit of faith. Anything. Right? But this is what also he said to him. Go ahead.
Howbeit, this kind goeth not out by howbeit this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting.
So only certain spirits can only be removed through prayer and fasting. And this was probably one of them, but because Yahawashi is so powerful and mighty that it was able to move without him with his, just by his word. You know what I mean? Just by his word. So he said, listen, y'all tried, but this is why you couldn't get it done, because you didn't believe in it, right? You didn't believe what you were doing. Your faith was lacking, but you tried. Okay.
And can I add to this?
Absolutely.
And this shows you too, if you want to cast out demons, you better make sure you got that faith and you pray and fast. Because if you didn't pray and fast, that demon could latch on to you, man. And that demon could chase or run you all over the place, man.
And it's funny that you said, because I was thinking, you better have no demons on you either.
Yeah.
You better be clean too. Because Yahawashi was clean as a whistle, right?
Yeah.
So he knew that demon can only be removed by that fashion. So we have to recognize too, certain spirits can only be removed if we're strong enough, we're faithful enough. You pray and you fast, you get that spirit off of you.
Yeah, demons could recognize a demon in you too, and that demon will laugh at you, man. And you don't want that, man. Because remember in the book of Acts 2, when the demon was there and he tried to cast out the demon, he said, who are you? He said, Paul, I know, but you, I don't know.
I don't know you.
Yeah, so demons could recognize certain authoritative positions and powers. You know what I mean? And that shows us too, man, that we gotta be right. We can't be filthy, man.
We gotta be right with the Most High, absolutely, right? So he recognized the contributions, even though they failed. He said, "Look, y'all tried, but this is why you didn't get it done." All right. Number 5, good leaders have your back in tough times. So yeah, Yahawashi always came to the disciples' back, just like we read right here. He came to them when they were probably feeling some type of way about not being able to exorcise that demon. And he came to them and he said, look, this is how you get it done. All right, let me show you how it's done. Then I'm going to explain to y'all why you couldn't get it done.
Can I say too? And the reason why they felt away too, because he told them that in the beginning. He said, I gave you power.
I give you power to
cast
do
out to heal the sick and to cast out demons. You know?
You read about that was the first point. He trusted them to do this. He gave them the power to do that. Right? So we're going to show y'all how Yahawashi always came to his disciples' defense. He got their back. Okay? Get me Luke chapter 8, verse 22.
But can I say another too? Also too, remember, at this time, they were still students.
Yes. They were still learning.
Yeah, they were still learning.
And some of them were young men in their 20s. Some of them were probably teenagers. Okay? They were young men. being guided by this older man. Remember, Yahawashi was 30 years old when he started his ministry. So they're probably, looking up to him like, I want to be just like him. He's able to cast out demons. He talks to the Pharisees any old kind of way. You know what I mean? I want to be just like that. And then when he finally gives them that power to do that, and they falter a little bit, they're probably just like, damn, are we ever going to have this type of power?
What happened, man?
How come I couldn't do it? What's going on? Yeah, no.
Oh, no, I would say, Adam, what you're saying, you see, like in today's world, I can't just lay hands. Like when I see my mom say, I said prayer, we would.
Mm-hmm.
But you see how you were saying earlier about how when like James and Peter, all them, everybody had this position, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody like, yo, man, what you mean you in charge? Da, 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
So like in today's world, if everybody just take their position, right, and trust in who our leader is, then the thing is this: if everybody just take their position and trust in their leader, then they would never, they would never like deter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In other words, they're still on course.
Uh-huh.
But if they don't do that, these are the things this is the results what's going to happen.
Absolutely. If we don't follow the good leadership, if we don't follow good leadership, we will fall apart. Okay, you will fall apart. Absolutely. You got that, Ben?
Luke 8 and
22.
Okay, Luke 8:22. Now it came to pass on a certain day that he went into a ship with his disciples, and he said unto them, let us go over unto the other side of the lake.
You're right, to the other side of the lake. Go ahead.
And they launched forth. But as they sailed, he fell asleep. And there came down a storm of wind on the lake, and they were filled with water.
Right.
And were in jeopardy.
Right. So the ship started to take on water. Meanwhile, Yahawashi is in the bottom of the ship sleeping. Right. Go ahead.
And they came to him and awoke him, saying, Master, we perish.
Yo, wake up. We about to die. Wake up. You trying to sleep and we about to die. Right. Go ahead.
Then he arose and rebuked the wind and the raging of the water.
Right.
And they ceased, and was a calm.
Right. So Yahawashi just went up on the bow of the ship and said, yo, all right, enough. Calm down. And the wind stopped.
That's power, man.
That's power. And they probably just looking at him like,
what the heck?
What the hell is going on here? In fact, they say that. Read it on Ben.
And he saith unto them, where is your faith?
And that's all he had to say. He's like, yo, where is y'all faith? Y'all just scared all the time. Like, what's going on here? What the hell? All right, go on.
And they being afraid wondered, saying one to another, what manner of man is this?
What the hell? What?
Whoa.
What? This man stopping wind? Are you kidding me? Read on.
For he commandeth even the winds and water, and they obey him.
And the winds and the water
obey him?
Obey this man? Are you serious? Are you kidding me? All we had to do was, they're probably thinking, look, we got to jump ship and go get him. Go get him so we can jump ship. You know what I mean? We about to sink. We about to die. We got to go wake him up. And then he just come out of nowhere and like, okay, put it all to a stop.
And he was just probably calm, cool. Wasn't even ain't worrying about it, just like, yeah, what's the problem?
What's the issue?
Yeah.
And they freaking out. Remember, these are young men, right? Freaking out about some wind and water. And he's just like, all right, here we go. And it all just stops. And they're just like, what? You know? Oh, but yeah, he had their back in a tough time. He came to the rescue. Immediately. Right? All right, jump to Matthew 8. We'll get 14 and 15.
Matthew.
What's that?
Pertains to this was read when Yahawashi in the book of Matthew, chapter 8, verse 27. The word says, but men marvel, saying, what manner of man is this, that the wind and the sea obey him?
It was the same story. It was the same story. He was like, yo, what kind of power does this man have that the wind and the seas obey him? How is this possible? right? Go ahead, Ben, when you got it.
Matthew chapter 8, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And when Yahawashi was come into Peter's house, he saw his wife's mother laid and sick of a fever.
Right, so Peter's mother-in-law was sick with a fever, right? She had an illness, right? And she was bedridden, right? Go ahead.
And he touched her hand, and the fever left her.
Right.
And she arose and ministered unto them.
Right, so in this time, Peter was probably scared to death that his mother-in-law might die. Remember, they didn't have Tylenol back then. They had just had herbs and whatnot. And sometimes, you know, it takes a long time for it to take effect. So Yahawashi came to Peter in his family's one of their darkest times, where his mother-in-law was sick and ill, and he came and healed her. Right? He could have just been like, listen, she'll be all right. She'll be fine. Don't worry about her. We got work to do. But no, he came to his house and healed her. And you had to know that had to make her feel like, wow, this man just laid hands on me and I'm well. Right? Okay. So in those times, those dark times, he came to her defense and came to, you know, his disciples' defense and helped them. In fact, get me where's the story about the corn? Where they was out in the corn.
Picking corn?
Yeah. Where's that at?
I think Matthew's...
No, Mark 7, actually. Let's go to Mark 7. I think it's there.
It's not in Matthew's too?
Yeah, it's in Matthew, what, 15, maybe?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Matthew 15, and... Yeah, start at verse 1.
Matthew's chapter 15, verse 1. Then came to Yahawashi scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread.
Right, so the disciples were being accused by the leadership in this. So imagine the scribes and the Pharisees, the top dogs in Israel, right? They're coming to Yahawashi slandering his disciples, right? So you attacking my men, you're attacking me now. You know what I mean? Listen, your disciples, they don't keep the tradition of the elders. They don't wash their hands in those ceremonial washings before they eat. And he's like, so what? Okay, read on.
But he answered and said unto them, Why do ye also transgress the commandment of the Most High by your tradition?
He said, okay, well, why do y'all transgress the Most High's law? Why do y'all break the commandments? Y'all talking about traditions. Y'all breaking the commandments, okay?
Right, because the Pharisees and Sadducees brought in a lot of traditions that the Most High did not give us.
And passed them off as commandments.
And yeah, that's what they was doing. And they became very pharisaical. And that's what Paul was trying to get us away from that. When he was saying not to keep the law. It wasn't not keeping the law of the Most High. It was keeping the Sadducees and pharisaical laws that they have brought in as traditions. You understand?
Absolutely.
And that's what they was doing.
Yeah, because... In fact, we're going to read about it. Go ahead.
All right. The 4th verse. For the Most High commanded, saying, Honor thy father and mother.
Right. Honor. So this is what the Most High's commandment is. Honor your father and your mother. Right. Go ahead.
And he that curseth father or mother, let him die the death.
Right. So any man, woman, or child that curses their parents is supposed to get put to death. Right. That's a law. Right. Go ahead.
But ye say,
but y'all say, y'all come up with this, right? Go ahead.
Whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, it is a gift.
Right, it's a gift, right? I'm a gift. Go ahead.
By whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me.
Right. So if you are supposed, if you were supposed to put that person who cursed their parents to death, right? But if they would be basically bribe the scribes and the Pharisees and offer up a sacrifice to get out of it, right? That the scribes and the Pharisees will profit from. This is what they did. Go ahead.
And honor not his father or his mother.
And honor not his father and their mother. He
shall be free.
Right. They pass it off and said, okay, you're forgiven, basically. That if you basically bribed or tried to buy your way out of getting put to death, when we know you were supposed to get put to death, you're free of the judgment, right? They were passing it off, right? Go ahead.
Thus ye have made the commandment of the Most High of none effect
Of none
by
effect.
your tradition.
You invalidate the Most High's commandments by establishing these false traditions, by letting these people escape the judgment. Therefore, you nullify the Most High's commandments. And this is what the scribes and the Pharisees were doing. To hell with your traditions. Okay? To hell with them. My disciples ain't breaking no laws. Right? He came to their defense. He said, look, man, y'all hypocrites. Y'all worried about these stupid traditions.
That y'all made up.
Yeah, y'all made up.
Yeah.
But yet you want to curse my disciples talking about these stupid traditions. Y'all don't keep the commandments. I'm teaching my disciples the commandments. What are y'all teaching? Right? Read on.
Ye hypocrites.
We call them hypocrites because that's exactly what they were. They were hypocrites. Go ahead.
Well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, this people drive nigh unto me with their mouth.
With their mouth,
and honoreth me with their lips.
Right, so we'll talk about how much we love God, how much we love the Most High, how much we love Yahawashi, right? We'll talk a good game, right? And Christians do this the most, all right? They'll sing and prance and dance for Jesus all day, right? They'll cry and throw themselves all over the church all day for Jesus, right? But, go ahead.
But their heart is far from me.
Their heart is far from him, meaning they don't really obey him. They don't really listen to what the Most High Yahawashi have to say. They don't follow the commandments. They don't teach the commandments. They don't believe in it. That's what he means. Their heart is far from. They don't think about what the Most High really requires from them. Read on.
But in vain they do worship me.
In vain, meaning uselessness and in pointlessness and lies, right? They worship me in vain. They worship me for nothing because they don't really obey me, right? Go ahead.
Teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
The commandments of men. That is a commandment of men. And we have to be wary of the commandments of men, okay? If they contradict the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, we don't even have to acknowledge it, all right? But you see how he came to his disciples' defense when the scribes and the Pharisees tried to slander them and tried to accuse them, saying, hey, your disciples, they're sinful men. How? They're breaking your commandments, not the Heavenly Father's. Y'all breaking the Heavenly Father's commandments. Don't worry about them. Worry about yourselves, all right? Okay. Good leaders are master storytellers. Now, we all know Yahawashi had stories for days, parables for days, so I'm not going to go into too many of them, but some of my favorite ones are the prodigal son, right? Which we can read about in Luke chapter 15, verse 11 to 32. You don't have to go there. I'm just name them, right? The prodigal son, Luke 15, 11 to 32. Then the sower and the seed, right? The sower and the seed, which is Matthew chapter 13, verses 1 to 20. And then the parable of the 10 virgins. Those are three of my favorites. Matthew 25 verses 1 to 3. You got any other ones that you think about, Ben?
No, not right now. You got the one in Matthew 13, right?
Yeah, that's the 10 virgins.
Yeah. The parables.
Yeah, actually Matthew 13 was the sower and the seed.
Yeah,
the 10 virgins is Matthew 25.
Yeah, the wise, those who receive the word, and those there are three types of people that receive the word.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those that hear it and continue in the faith. Those that hear it and like, man, when tribulation and everything comes, they like give up. And then those that hear it for a little while, then they go right back into the world.
Right back into the world. Yep. And then another one of my favorite ones is the I think it was the king and his son who tried to throw a party for his son, and his servants killed the son.
Yeah.
And the king sent his army and just started wiping everybody out. That was one of my favorites. Oh man. So number 7, right? Okay, that was master storytellers. Good leaders are good storytellers. Number 7. Good leaders challenge you to do better. Okay, they challenge you to do better. They give you power to be greater than them. Okay, and Yahawashi definitely gave us power to do great things. All right, and we're going to start with that in John. Okay, the Gospel John, chapter 1, verse 10 to 13.
St. John chapter 1. Start from the first verse?
No,
10.
10.
All right, St. John chapter 1, verse 10. he was in the world,
Uh-huh.
and the world was made by him.
Right. So we all know that Yahawashi is the creator of this, he's the creator of all that we see, right? Go ahead.
And the world knew him not.
And the world knew him not. So we all know that Israel is the world too, okay? Because Yahawashi was mainly dealing with the Israelites, right? Go ahead.
11th verse. He came unto his own, and his own received him not.
So that's how we know we talk about Israel when he said the world, because the world knew him not. He dealt with the Israelites. He said, I preached forever in the synagogues, in the streets, in the temple, wherever the Jews were, that's where I was at, okay? And the world received him not, meaning the Jews rejected him. We rejected Yahawashi, right? Go ahead.
And the 12th verse, this is the one the Christians love to use all the time. But as many as receive him, to them gave he power to become the sons of the Most High.
Right, but he gave that to us.
To the disciples, not to everybody.
Exactly, he gave that to his disciples. Okay, and that's what I was trying to get to the point of. He gave the disciples the power to do many great things, and whoever they deem worthy as well. Okay, read on.
Even to them that believe on his name.
Right.
And they try to say, no, the Christians said this is other people. It's the same Israelites. It started with the disciples, then the other regular Israelites.
Exactly. That believed in Yahawashi. He gave them power to become sons of the Most High too. It wasn't just him. He said, I'm going to make y'all sons of the Most High. Right? Go ahead.
Which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of men, but of the Most High.
Right, those that were born of the Most High, meaning those who he ordained to be born into the earth and carried on that word, okay? Because not everybody that was born of the flesh is born of the Most High, right? You read that in Romans chapter 9. Not everybody that's a child of the flesh is a child of the Most High, right? You have to be specially born by the Most High. Your birth has to be ordained by him, or you have to be chosen by him, okay? Give me John chapter 14, verse 12 and 13.
John 14, St. John chapter 14, verse 12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me.
Right, just like we read in chapter 1, he said, if you believe on me, right, go ahead.
The works that I do shall he do also.
So whatever I do, you will do too. You'll raise the dead. You'll heal the sick. You'll teach the word. You'll cleanse the lepers, right? You'll do all these things, right? Go ahead.
And greater works than these shall he do.
You're going to do greater things if you believe in me. That's the power that Yahawashi was giving us. If you do my work, if you adhere to my word, you'll do greater things than me. Now, how can we do
something?
How can we do greater works than Yahawashi, the Son of the Most High? How can we do greater works than him?
That's crazy.
But he's telling us that it's possible.
Yep.
All you have to do is believe. You just have to believe it, that we will do greater things than him. Right?
And Yahawashi did some great things, because he said the things that Yahawashi did, if he was to write a book, it couldn't be contained in a book. We can't even record it all. Right? We would do more than turn water into wine and walk on water. We could do so many wondrous things if we just believed in him. But many people don't. Real quick, I don't understand how anybody in this life can be an Israelite and not believe in Yahawashi. I don't get it. Because without Yahawashi, where would we be? Where? How? Like, I just want to ask all the Old Testament Israelites only, right? I just want to ask them this one question. If you don't believe in Yahawashi, where is your sacrifice? Where's your altar in your backyard? Do you have an altar in behind your congregation sanctifying animals? No, they say we don't sacrifice because we're not in our land. We're in captivity.
Okay, so then how do by then, okay, if that's true, then we're continuously breaking the Most High's commandments and not covering ourselves with our animal sacrifices. Because for every sin that we commit, and there's no man that sinneth not, right, as the scripture says, then we're supposed to be sacrificing left and right, daily, every day. Where's your Levitical priest, right? Where is he? You got an altar in your backyard and you sacrificing chickens and goats and lambs. Peter will be on you in a heartbeat So where is your sacrifice? Where is that? Bring it out. I want to see it. Where's your altar? Okay? Because we're without Yahawashi, where would we be? All right? We'd be dying left and right if it wasn't for Yahawashi, because the Most High will kill us off immediately. The minute one of y'all slept with another congregant's wife, guess what? We're supposed to kill you. But yet we're not going to do that, right? We're supposed to put so many different people for their sins to death, but yet we can't do that here. So where is your sacrifice? I rest my case. Moving on, right? Well, did you read 13, Ben?
Let me finish reading 12 again.
Go ahead.
St. John 14, verse 12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also.
We're going to do just works like he did, right? Go ahead.
And greater works than these shall he do.
And greater works. We're going to do greater works than Yahawashi, right? Go ahead.
Because I go unto my Father.
Right, because Yahawashi was soon leaving, right? Go ahead.
And whatsoever ye shall ask in my name.
Ask in his name. That's why we always say Bahasham Hamashiach Yahawashi. We ask in the name of Yahawashi, right? Go ahead.
That will I do.
Right. He'll do it for us. Whatever we ask the Most High in Yahawashi's name, he'll do it, because it's like Yahawashi is asking for it on our behalf. Right? Go ahead.
That the Father may be glorified in the Son.
That the Father may be glorified in the Son, meaning in him. All right? Yahweh, the Most High Yahweh will get all the glory. Okay? From there,
let me finish reading the two next verses.
Go ahead, go ahead.
If ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it.
He said, I'll do it. Just ask. I will do it. If you want this man healed, you want your parents healed, just ask in my name. We have to be in the right frame. We have to be in the right spirit to ask. But we have to ask in Yahawashi's name, okay? That's why we always say Bahasham Yahawashi, all right? From there.
If you love me, keep my commandments.
Keep my commandments. That's Yahawashi saying, if you love me, keep my commandments. Do what I tell you, okay?
What I see as this here, man, like every time you read the scriptures, you see something more and more deeper. What I see from this here, man, as Israelites, all of us have that potential and that power from the Most High to do great things. All right, and to have that power within us once we stay on the right course, man.
Absolutely, and that's the power that Yahawashi gave us through the Spirit of the Most High. He said, "Look, if you do this, you can do great things. You believe in me, you can do great things, just like I did. I showed you that it was possible." Right?
And that's why Yahawashi made a statement. He said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. That power is within you as a people. And we don't know the power that we have as a people, man.
Absolutely.
We're looking for politics and all this other bull crap to come to our rescue when the power is within us.
It's always been with us.
Always, man.
It's always been with us. We can bring forth we can do anything. When we have the Most High and Yahawashi on our side.
In our midst, man.
We can do anything. Okay? We can excel past any other nation on the planet when we have the Most High and Yahawashi with us. Okay? But our people just don't believe that. All right? And from there, we're still in the same part. Give me Matthew chapter 10, verse 16 to 20. Because we're going to go back to what he told them earlier about the power that he gave them. Okay, to do great things. All right, this is right after he told them that he sent them forth.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves.
Right, we spoke about this earlier. He said, "Listen, I'm sending you as sheep among wolves." Go ahead.
Be ye therefore wise as serpents, and harmless as doves.
Right, I mean, keep your wits about you. Be smart and be intelligent, but don't use this word as a weapon. You have to be harmless with it, okay? You can't go around beating people over the head with the Bible, right? Go ahead.
And what he's showing you too, when he said, be wise as a serpent, look at a serpent. Learn the attributes and the characteristics of a serpent, how he maneuvers, how he does things, man. And pattern, because a serpent is very patient. And he's accurate with his timing, with his strike, and everything that he does is well calculated.
Yep. Well calculated.
Well calculated, man.
Remember I said earlier that certain, like Certain snakes won't even use their venom when they're defending themselves because they don't want to waste it. You know what I mean? They have to conserve their energy and conserve their resources for when they really need it. Okay? That's how intelligent these serpents are, right? Right. Go ahead. Now remember what the scripture said about the serpent in the beginning is more subtle than any creature that the Most High made. Right? So you have to be wise as a serpent, right? You have to be smart about how you move. Because he said, I'm sending you as sheep among wolves. You're going to be attacked. So you got to know how to move. All right? Go ahead.
17. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues.
Right. You're gonna be put up, to the test. You're gonna be brought before governments and magistrates, like he said, councils, and they're gonna want to harm you. They're gonna want to punish you for what you're teaching. Right? Go ahead.
Because this word too, if you really listen to it, and government officials and intelligent people listen to it, they'll say, damn, this is a takeover of our government. When you really listen to what the gospel and the truth is saying, is destruction of their empire. When you really listen to it with keen intelligence and understanding, especially the parables and the codes and the dark saying that Yahawashi said, is saying he's coming to take down their kingdom and set up another kingdom over their kingdom.
They're losing our empire. We got to silence them.
Yeah.
We have to silence them, right? Go ahead.
18. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles.
See, like you said, your kingdom is ending. Your kingdom is on its way out. A new kingdom will replace it. So they probably think, like you said, when we say these things, right, that we're gonna take over the government.
Yeah, we go overthrow it with a coup or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, we gotta silence them. We can't. Listen. These. What's the word? Like when you try to overthrow your own government. Like you said coup, right?
It's another word
for it.
So that's
treason.
A treason.
Yes,
Yes,
that
it's
we're
treason.
treasonous. Yeah. That we're trying to overthrow our own government and that we're trying to take it over and run it ourselves. No, we talking about a different kingdom.
That's what Trump did on January 6th.
That was a coup. Okay, he lost the election and he was trying to overthrow the government and sent his own mindless followers to do it for him.
His
minions, right? Psychopaths. Go ahead, read on.
19. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak.
So when we get sent before these people, right, we don't have to worry about how we're going to defend ourselves, right? Go ahead.
For it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak.
Right. See, we already know. We know what we're going to say because we're going to use the Bible. Okay. When this time comes for us, and trust me, Israel, it's coming. There will come a time where some of us will have to testify before courts, magistrates, and everything in between. That we will have to be, and we will have to answer. And you better use the Bible, because if you use your own ideas about what you think you might get you off, you're going to get thrown in prison. But when we use this Bible, nothing can stand against us. Read on.
For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you.
There you go. So he told them, listen, you're going to get thrown before governments and kings, but guess what? You're going to have power to defend yourself because the Father's going to speak for you. Okay? And they won't be able to gainsay against the Most High. They ain't going to be able to. All right? Number 8, all right? They show appreciation. Good leaders show appreciation. Give me John chapter 15, verse 14 and 17. I'm almost done. Bear with me. So you can see how good of a leader Yahawashi really is. Okay? And we should all strive to be leaders just like him, because you want people to look at you the same way they look at Yahawashi. That's the true definition of being a Christian. You really follow and believe what Yahawashi says and he did. And this is what he said and did. All right?
John 15 and 8?
14.
John chapter 15, verse 14.
It started verse 12.
Okay, John chapter 15, verse 12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another, as I have loved you.
Right. He's telling his disciples, look, I love you. I love you all, but I want y'all to love each other just like I loved you. Right? Go ahead.
Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
Right. He said, look, there's no greater love than for a man to lay down his life for his friends. He sacrificed himself for his friends. Okay? And not only that, but he gave up the desires of human life for the service. Right? Because like we said last week, Yahawashi could have altered the course of history and served himself. Right? He could have used the power to serve himself. He could have got a wife, could have got some kids, could have did this. He could have went and did whatever he wanted to do. But he said, no, the service that the Most High called me for is more important than my own, fleshly desires.
My own ambitions.
And that's something that we have to understand also. Sometimes, listen, we gave up our life for the ministry. Many of us have given up our lives for the ministry, right? Read on.
Ye are my friends. If ye do whatsoever I command you.
Y'all are my friends. If you do what I tell you, you're my friends. Okay? This is what friendship is about. Right? Read on.
Henceforth I call you not servants. For the servant knoweth not what his other one doeth.
Right. He said the servant doesn't know what the master does, right? He keeps things from his servant because he's a servant. He's below him, right? Go ahead.
But I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father,
right,
I have made known unto you.
He said, everything that the Father taught me, I taught you also. That's why you're my friends. I appreciate y'all because y'all listen to me, y'all hear me, and because you hear me, you hear the Father too. You receive me, you receive the Father. And I appreciate that, right? Go ahead.
They were tightly knit. That's what you call the true
unit.
Essence of brotherhood, man. How good and how sweet it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. That's strong brotherhood right there, man.
Strong brotherhood, right? He ate with them in his very last moments. He didn't go see his mother. He didn't go see his brothers and sisters, right? He spent his last few hours with them, right? That's how tight they were, right? He didn't even tell his mother, look, I'm about to die tomorrow, right? He didn't even tell her. He told his friends, look, this is the last night that we're going to spend together, so
buckle up.
Buckle up. Be ready. Okay? And I appreciate y'all because y'all walked with me during this whole time. When you read these 3 chapters, I think John 14, 15, 16, and 17, he really, he's vulnerable with his disciples at that moment.
He poured out his spirit and his heart to them. Yeah.
He poured out his spirit to them and showed them, look, I got to go, but I'm glad that we had this time together. And he said, look, I had such a good time with y'all. I'm not even going to drink wine no more until I drink it with y'all in the kingdom.
In the kingdom. I'm going to drink it again in the kingdom.
I'll be back, man. I'll be back for y'all.
I got y'all with me too. Hey,
I'll be back for you.
That's power, man.
Yep. Read on.
The 16th verse. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you.
I chose y'all because I really love y'all, and y'all are serious about this. You walked with me these 3 years. Because remember, Yahawashi had more than 12 disciples. They were the 12 that remained. Okay? He had more. He had many more. Right? Read on.
And ordained you.
Right? I put the Spirit on you. Right? Go ahead.
That you should go and bring forth fruit.
See, I made more leaders out of you. Right? Go ahead.
And that your fruit should remain.
And they should stick around to the end also. Right? Go ahead.
That whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name.
In my name, by Shema Mashiach Yahawashi, right?
He may give it you.
That he'll give it to you. Whatever you ask for in my name, that Most High will give it to you because I call you friends. Okay? He said, I am your friend. You are my friends. Right? Go ahead.
These things I command you, that ye love one another.
You love one another. Because I loved y'all, y'all ought to love each other. Okay? From there, number 9. They're responsive. Good leaders are responsive. Okay? They react to what you tell. They will give you good input, good advice, and they will answer the questions that you have. So give me Matthew 24:3. You can't get a better leader than Yahawashi. You can't get there's no better leader than him. All right?
Matthew 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be?
Right.
And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
Right. So he's saying, the disciples asked him, when is the end of the world? When is the sign of your coming? What are these things going to happen? And this is how he responds to them. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. And he doesn't say, listen, it's not, man, listen, don't worry about that right now. He tells them exactly what they ask of him. So just read verses 4 to 8.
The fourth verse. And Yahawashi answered and said unto them,
Very directly, right? Go ahead.
Take heed that no man deceive
He
you.
said, listen, all right, be aware. Let no one trick you. No one lie to you. Let no one deceive you, okay? Don't be caught up in all the lies and half-truths out there, right? Go ahead.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many.
Right. There's many people going to come and say, I'm the Messiah, I'm the anointed one, I'm the chosen one, I am Hamashiach, right? Don't believe them, okay? Read on.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of
So
wars.
there's going to be wars that are actually breaking out, and then you're going to hear about tensions between countries, right? You're going to hear about this country's gearing up. They're, They're militarizing their forces to get ready to go to battle, but then they might calm down. Negotiations might calm them down. But then you're going to also hear about countries that are actually at war, right? Go ahead.
See that ye be not
He
troubled.
said, don't worry about those things. Don't let it get to heart. Don't let it confuse you. Don't let it trouble you, right? Go ahead.
For all these things must come to
And
pass.
it must come to pass. They have to happen. These things have to happen, right? Go ahead.
But the end is not yet.
But that's not the end, right? So you see these things happening, but just realize that's not the end. So you're going to have people who are going to try and falsely attribute themselves the title of Hamashiach, and you're going to hear about wars and rumors of wars, but don't let it happen. Don't let it trouble you, because that's not the end yet, all right? Those are precursors, as they say, right? Go ahead.
For nation shall rise against nation,
Uh-huh.
and kingdom against kingdom.
Right, so there's going to be nations that are trying to overthrow other nations, and kingdoms that are going to go to war against other kingdoms, right? Go ahead.
And there shall be famines,
Right, widespread hunger,
and pestilences,
Pestilences, meaning diseases and sicknesses, plagues, right? Go ahead.
and earthquakes in diverse
You're
places.
going to hear about different earthquakes in different parts of the world, as we've seen. Like I said, I've been saying it. We had a earthquake and a solar eclipse in the same weekend, all within 3 days of each other. Those are signs of the Most High's coming, right? Go ahead.
All these are the beginning of
Those
sorrows.
are the beginning, the beginning of sorrow. So he's telling them, listen, don't be afraid of these things, all right? Because they're probably just like, what do you mean? Because when you look at verses 1 and 2, he told them that the temple wasn't going to stand any longer. It was going to be destroyed. So they probably asked him like, whoa, what do you mean by that? Is this the end of the world? So when he asked him, okay, what's the end of the world? They'd be like, okay, look, listen, this is how it's going to happen. He broke it down to them. That way they can understand it. All right. From there, get me Mark chapter 9, verse 10.
Mark chapter 9, verse 10. And they kept that saying with themselves.
Whoa, 10. Oh, yeah. Okay, yes. I'm sorry. Good.
Yeah, Mark chapter 9, verse 10.
Yes.
And they kept that saying with themselves, questioning one with another what the rising from the dead should mean.
Right. So then they ask him, they're just talking amongst themselves first, like, okay, what is this bringing back of the dead? Like, what do you mean bringing back of the dead? Then they start to, once their inner minds start working, then they decided to ask him about a particular person. Go ahead.
11th verse. And they asked him, saying, why say the scribes that Elijah must first come?
Right. So they said, why? Because what they saw, this was after the transfiguration, right? They asked, why did Elijah come first? They were wondering what they saw. What did it mean, right? Because remember, Moses and Elijah had long been dead. So they were like, okay, what does all this mean? But then they remembered the scriptures and said, the scripture said that Elijah must come first. So they decided to ask him, why does Elijah have to come first? Right? This is how he answers them. Go ahead.
And he answered and told them.
Right. He responded to their inquiry. Right? Go ahead.
Elijah verily cometh first,
Uh-huh.
and restoreth all things. And how it is written of the Son of Man, that he must suffer many things and be set at naught.
Right. So he broke it down to them and explained that this is what the scriptures say. This is just how it's the order of things. This is just how it's going to go, right? Elijah has to come first. Truthfully, he has to come first, right? Go ahead.
But I say unto you that Elijah is indeed come, and they have done unto him whatsoever they listed,
Right.
as it is written of him.
Right. So he told them, look, Elijah's here already. Elijah has come. He came first. They didn't know that he was talking about John the Baptist, that John the Baptist is Elijah, reincarnated, regenerated, that he's here. But he told them, look, Elijah's here. They wanted to know, why does Elijah come first? He said, look, Elijah has to restore everything. And then they did to him what they did. But Elijah's here already. All right. From there, get me Matthew 18 and verse 1. We're just showing you how Yahawashi had always answered the disciples' questions whenever they had them. Okay.
Matthew chapter 18, verse 1. And it came, and at the same time came the disciples unto Yahawashi, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?
Right. So they wanted to know, okay, who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? Who's the top dog in the kingdom? Right. Go ahead.
And Yahawashi called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them,
Right.
and said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted,
Except you change, right? Go ahead.
and become as little children,
Become as little children, meaning you have to be inquisitive, you have to have an inquiring mind, you have to have a humble spirit, a learning spirit, a willing spirit, right? Go ahead.
ye shall not enter into the kingdom of
So
heaven.
unless you become like a child, obedient and inquisitive and willing, right? You cannot enter the kingdom. So they worried about who's going to be the greatest. They need to be concerned about how you get in, right? Read on.
And said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little
Right.
child,
Who humble themselves as a little child. You have to be humble like a child to get in the kingdom. Go ahead.
the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven.
Same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. You have to be like a little child to get in, right? Go ahead.
And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name, receive me.
If you receive this little child in my name, you receive me. And we all know how it is to have to receive Yahawashi, right? Give me Matthew 23, verse 11. This is probably one of my favorite verses ever.
Matthew 23, verse 11. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant.
Right, there you go. Well, actually, you know what? Start at verse 8.
Matthew 23, verse 8. But be ye not called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Hamashiach,
Right.
and all ye are brethren.
Right. So we're not supposed to call anybody on the earth master or rabbi or father like we call the Pope, right? Or they call the Pope. We don't call the Pope father at all, right? He said, don't let anybody don't call anybody father. Don't be called father or rabbi, because we have one rabbi or master, which is Yahawashi, right? Go ahead.
And call no man your father upon the earth,
Right.
for one is your father, which is in heaven.
Right. Go ahead.
Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Hamashiach. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant.
And he that is greatest among you shall be your servant, right? Go ahead.
And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased.
Abased, right? Go ahead.
And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted.
So if you are high and mighty and try to be the top dog, you're going to be abased, meaning you're going to be shut down. You're going to be humble. But if you humble yourself, you'll be exalted among the Most High in Yahawashi. Get me Luke 26, I'm sorry. Real fast. That's the one I really wanted.
Luke 22 and 6.
22 and 26.
Luke 22, 26.
Start at verse 24.
All right, Luke 22, verse 24. And there was also a strife among them.
Right, among the disciples. They started to argue amongst themselves, right? Go ahead.
Which of them should be accounted the greatest?
Uh-huh.
And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them.
Right, so they started to argue amongst themselves and say, no, I'm the greatest. No, I'm the greatest. No, I'm the greatest. No, I'm the greatest. But he stopped all of that and said, look, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, meaning they rule over their people, especially with a harsh rod, a rod of iron, right? Go ahead.
And they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors.
Meaning they benefit from the people. They take from the people, right? Go ahead.
But ye shall not be so.
Right. Y'all not going to be like this. Go ahead.
But he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger.
He'll be as the younger. The greatest among you, let him be as the younger. Now, when typically the younger one is the servant, he's the quiet one. He's the one that gets told what to do. Right? Go ahead.
Okay. Let me read 16 again. 26. But ye shall not be so. But he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger.
Right.
And he that is chief as he that doth serve.
Right, as he that doth serve, meaning the one that's going to be the highest on the totem pole, let him be the biggest servant. That's how you're supposed to be, because that's what he was. When he was here on the earth, he didn't live like a king. He didn't live he didn't live a lavish lifestyle. No, he took on the form of a servant. He was the one out here doing things for people, healing the sick, feeding them, cleansing the lepers. That's what he told us to do. He said, look, if you want to be great, you got to be the best leader or the best servant. Okay. That's what this life is servitude. All right. You're not supposed to be living lavishly among off the people. We have to be servants. Okay. That's how we become great leaders, by being the best servant. All right. Okay. Last one. Great leaders give they give credit where credit is due. And Yahawashi was always about giving credit to the Heavenly Father. All right. That's all he did. He always said that the Father was the one who was doing everything and that he was just a conduit for him. All right. Give me John chapter 5, verse 30.
John chapter 5, verse 30. There is another that beareth witness of me.
No, 30. That was 32.
I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Yeah, John chapter 5, verse 30. I can of my own self do nothing. As I hear, I judge.
He said, as I hear, I judge. Right? Go ahead.
And my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will,
right,
but the will of the Father which have sent me.
Right. He said, I don't do what I want to do. I do what the Father tells me. Okay? I get all of this from him. I don't make this stuff up on my own. I do it because he told me. All right. This is how I get my judgment. Comes from the Heavenly Father. It doesn't come from my own mind, my own authority, my own will. Okay. Go ahead.
31. If I bear witness of myself, my witness is not true.
See, if I did this on my own, it wouldn't be true. It wouldn't be true judgment. It would be my own thoughts, my own mind. But because it came from the Heavenly Father, this is the truth. All right. Get me John chapter 6, verse 16.
John chapter 6, verse 16. And when evening was now come, his disciples went down unto the sea, and entered into a ship, and went over the sea toward Capernaum.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong scripture. Hold on. Salakia, that's the wrong scripture. 7, verse 16. I'm sorry.
John chapter 7, verse 16.
Mm-hmm. Start at verse 14.
All right, John chapter 7, verse 14. Now about the midst of the feast, Yahawashi went up into the temple and taught.
Right, this was the middle of Tabernacles, the Feast of Tabernacles, and Yahawashi went in the temple and taught. Right, go ahead.
And the Judeans marveled, saying, How knoweth this man letters, having never learned?
Right. They say, how does he know all of this? He didn't go to those Hebrew Bible schools or whatever have you. He didn't go to seminary school. He didn't go to whatchamacallit school. How does he know this stuff? We didn't see him in Torah school with us. How does he know all of this? Right? Go ahead.
Yahawashi answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent
Right.
me.
This is the Most High's word. I didn't come up with this. This is not my saying. This is the Most High's. All right. Go ahead.
If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of the Most High or whether I speak of myself.
So he said, look, if you do the Most High's will, you'll know the difference. You'll know if I came up with this on my own or if this came from the Father. You'll know if you keep the commandments, right? Go ahead.
He that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory.
Right.
But he that seeketh his glory that sent him, the same is true.
The same is true. If you seek your own glory, there's not. Listen, you speak of yourself, you speak your own glory. But you seek the Most High's glory, you'll know that it's true and that there's no unrighteousness in you. You'll know that this came from the Most High, right? From there, get me John chapter 10, verse 30. Read 30 and 30 to 32.
John chapter 10, verse 30. I and my Father are one.
Right. So this is Yahawashi saying, me and the Most High, we're one. We're united. We're on the same front. We have the same mind and spirit. Right? Go ahead.
Then the Judeans took up stones again to stone him.
Right. They were always trying to kill him. Right? Because they thought that he was blaspheming. But they took up stones to stone him. Go ahead.
Yahawashi answered them, many good works have I showed you from my Father.
Right. He said, many good works have I showed you from the Father. Right? This came from the Most High. I didn't do this on my own. Right? Go ahead.
For which of those works do you stone me?
He said, which one of those works are y'all going to stone me for? Huh? I've done nothing but heal people, feed people, raise the dead, cure the lepers. Which one of y'all going to stone me for? This all came from the Father. Right? Read on.
All right. 33. The Judeans answered him, saying, for a good work we stone thee not.
Right. We're not going to stone you for a good work, right?
But for blasphemy, and because thou being a man, maketh thyself the Most High.
Right. They thought that he was trying to make himself the Most High when he really was not trying to do that. He was his entire time. He just said, look, the Father is doing this through me. I'm not doing it. The Father's doing it. I'm just the vessel that he's using to do it through. Right? He never took credit for the Most High's work. He said the Father is doing it through me. Jump down to verse 37 and read 37 and 38.
All right, 37. If I do not the works of my Father, believe me not.
Right. He said, if I'm not doing it, fine. Don't believe me. If the Father's not doing it through me, don't believe me. Go ahead.
But if I do, But if I do, though ye believe not me.
Right. Says that, look, if I do the works, even if you don't believe me, right? Go ahead.
Believe the works that ye may know and believe that the Father is in me and I in him.
That the Father is with me. I'm not doing this on my own. I don't do all of this on my own. Okay? I'm not doing this because I feel like it. The Father is doing this through me. That's what he was trying to get the people to understand. He always gave credit that the Father sent me here. I didn't come by myself. I didn't come because I didn't just jump down from heaven on my own accord. The Father sent me. Okay? He sent me. He said, go into the world and teach and heal and cure the people. Show the people about me. Okay? Show them who I am. Right? He always gave the Most High credit. All right? And last but not least, good leaders treat others with dignity and respect. Okay? Dignity and respect. So I want you to jump to Luke chapter 19, verse 1. Okay? About Zacchaeus.
Luke chapter 19, verse 1. And Yahawashi entered and passed through Jericho. And behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, which was the chief among the publicans,
Right.
and he was rich.
Right. So Yahawashi was going to meet this publican. Remember, the publicans were despised in Israel because they were working with the Roman government to tax the people. So they were despised among the Israelites. Just like today, we despise tax collectors. Why are you calling me? Why are you this, that, and the third? Right? We don't like politicians, right? We think they're just trying to hustle us, right? Go ahead.
And he sought to see Yahawashi, who he was, and could not for the press, because he was little of stature.
Right, he was a short man, okay? He was a short man. So he tried to see Yahawashi for who he was, but he couldn't because he was too short to see, right? Go ahead.
And he ran before and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was to pass that way.
Right, this man was so determined to see Yahawashi. He climbed a tree so that way he can see over the people just to lay eyes on Yahawashi, right? Go ahead.
And when Yahawashi came to the place, he looked up and saw him and said unto him, Zacchaeus, make haste.
Make haste,
and come down.
He said, what you doing up there, Zach? Come on down. Come down, right? Go ahead.
For today I must abide at thy house.
He said, I'm coming to your house today. I'm coming to see you, right? You coming to see me, but I'm actually coming to see you. So come down from that tree, right? Go ahead.
And he made haste and came down and received him joyfully.
He says, look, this tax collector came to see Yahawashi joyfully, as it says. He was waiting to see him, right? Go ahead.
And when they saw it, they all murmured, saying that he was gone to be guest with a man that is a sinner.
Right. Now the people starting to talk. They're like, look, that man is a sinner. You're going to go sit and eat with him? This kind of filth, this vermin, this tax collector amongst our people, right? And you're going to go have dinner with him? Go ahead.
And Zacchaeus stood and said unto the other one, Behold, other one, the half of my goods I give to the poor, and I have taken anything from any man by false accusation. I restore him. I restore him fourfold.
Right. He said, look, half of my goods I've given to the poor, and if I've taken anything by false accusation, I've given them fourfold. I restored it to them fourfold. Now that's righteousness right there. That's faith and honest works. He said, look, if I've taken anything by false accusation, I restored it back to them fourfold. So if I stole $100 by false accusation, or someone tried to accuse me of taking $100, I gave them back $4. You're not going to get that type of honesty today at all, right? He said, I've never stolen from anybody, but if anybody tried to accuse it of me, I've given it back to them just so that I can keep the peace, right? And meanwhile, people are saying that this man is a sinner, right? But Yahawashi didn't look at him that way. He didn't see him like that. He said, no, I'm going to go chill with you today, right? Go ahead.
And Yahawashi said unto him, this day is salvation come to this house.
This house, your dwelling place, right?
For as much as he also is a son of Abraham.
See, now check that out. He said, look, the people are accusing him of being a sinner, that he's a thief, that he's a publican, that he's no good, he's a traitor to our people. But Yahawashi said, no, he's a son of Abraham, and therefore salvation's coming to his house. He's just like me. He's one of me. He's a son of Abraham also. Showing that respect to this man in his house, right? And lastly, it's my last scripture for the night. Give me John chapter 8, verse 1. Right? 8 and 1.
St. John chapter 8, verse 1.
This is the last one. Go ahead.
Yahawashi went unto the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came again into the temple.
So you notice that Yahawashi liked to go to the Mount of Olives, like that was his hangout spot. That was his favorite place, right? But this time he went into the temple, right? Go ahead.
And all the people came unto him. But let me say, it's early in the morning, so
Early,
he was
yeah.
up early, man, and
Yeah.
going in late too, man.
Yeah.
Like he said, he saw a man had no place to rest
There
his
you
head,
go.
man.
Right? He was always on the go. Always on the go. Now me, I'm not particularly a morning person, but I'm like, you know what? He was up in probably 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, not getting no sleep because, you know, he was teaching all day, doing the work all day, and then still getting up early to go and teach, right?
I guess he was up before the sunrise too.
Because he liked to get up and pray.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm reading again. St. John chapter 8, verse 2. And early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him, and he sat down and taught them.
And that's why we do it just like that. We sit down, we open the Bible, and we teach the people. We don't stand at the pulpit and run up and down and all the theatrics and the histrionics. No, we sit down, we go through the scriptures, and we teach, we give the sense, right? Just like in Nehemiah 8:8, we open the book of the law of the Most High distinctly and give the sense. That's what Yahawashi did, right? Go ahead.
And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, they say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act.
Right, so they caught this woman laying with a man that was not her husband, right? And they took her, brought her to the temple, and pushed her in the middle of the temple and said, look, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act, right?
So that means they had to be watching everything, watching too, man.
They was, I wouldn't be surprised if they set this thing up, because notice they didn't bring the brother.
Right.
They didn't bring the man who she was laying with. They brought her. Now, this was all, of course, a setup to see what he would do, but they probably orchestrated this entire thing just to see what he would do, okay? Because they said, like I said, notice, they didn't bring the man. They just brought her.
Maybe the man was their homeboy, part of their clan.
He probably, right? Yeah, or maybe he bought him off. He said, look, I'll slide y'all something. If y'all just deal with her, I could slide y'all something off a little later, right? Because we know that the scribes and Pharisees were keen to taking bribes and establishing traditions.
And corrupt as hell, man.
And corrupted, just to, and you could buy your way out of a judgment, as we read about in Matthew 15 earlier. People were buying their way out of judgments, right? Go ahead.
Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned.
Right. Go ahead.
But what sayest thou?
Right. He said, look, Moses told in the law says that she needs to be stoned. But the law also said that the brother got to get stoned too. Right. But where's he at? Where is he? He's supposed to be stoned too. You can't take a woman in adultery. You're both supposed to get put to death. But they saying her. They only saying her. But they're like, okay, the law says that she's supposed to be stoned. What do you say? What are you going to do? Right? Go ahead.
This they said, tempting him.
See? Go ahead.
That they might have to accuse him.
See, they set this whole thing up so that way they can try to catch Yahawashi breaking the laws and call him a sinner. See, look, we told y'all he's a sinner. We told y'all.
We told you he's a fraud.
We told y'all he's a fraud. Go ahead.
But Yahawashi stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground as though he heard them not.
And that's where the phrase, the line in the sand, comes through. He stooped down and wrote on the ground and pretending he didn't hear them. Go ahead.
So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her.
Right, because he said, okay, look, if any of you have never committed a sin, you have every right to pick up a stone and throw it at her head. Go ahead. Whichever one of you, right? Because you remember, we were supposed to be in righteousness. We can't condemn in hypocrisy, okay? Because remember, in the law, we were all being tried by fire, right? So when we got that commandment, we were all supposed to be practicing, lawful marriages and sexual relations. So that way, if anyone was caught breaking that law, we had every right to stone them to put out that sin. But now all of Israel is in the midst of sin. So we all didn't have that right to just pick up a stone and throw it at her. That would be judging in hypocrisy, which he spoke against, right? Go ahead.
All right. And again, he stooped down and wrote on the ground.
And he just went back to writing on the ground, drawing the line in the sand. Go ahead.
And they which heard it, being convicted by their own
See,
conscience,
but being convicted by their own, because they knew that they were sinful too, right? Every single one of them. Go ahead.
went out one by one, beginning at the eldest.
So the chief elder in the temple at that moment, even he stepped out first. He stepped out first and said, "Dag, I can't kill this woman. I'm a sinful too." He started to think about all the sins that he committed, and he said, "Dag, I can't kill this woman. I can't condemn this woman to death. I'm just as sinful as she is. Let me step on out." You know what I mean? And every single one of them started to do that. Right? Go ahead.
Even unto the last.
Uh-huh.
And Yahawashi was left alone,
Uh-huh.
and the woman standing in the midst.
Right. Go ahead.
And when Yahawashi had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where are those thine accusers? Have no man condemned thee?
So now he's starting to see her for what she is, for who she is. She's another woman. She's a human being just like he is, a sinful woman. And he said, look, where are your accusers? No man's condemned you. And what did she say?
She said, No man other one.
She said, no man. No one's condemned me. Right? Go ahead.
And Yahawashi said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee.
Right. I'm not going to condemn you either. Right? You are not below. Your sins are not above you. You can still be forgiven for your sins. Right? He said she committed a sin worthy of death. And Yahawashi, being completely sin-free, he had every right to pick up that stone and bash her over the head with it. But he didn't. He treated her with the dignity and respect that she deserved. And he said, I'm not going to condemn you either. But, read on.
Have no man condemned thee. She said, No man other one. And Yahawashi said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee.
He said, I don't condemn
you
either.
Go and sin no more.
Go and sin no more. That he always told people that. People forget that part. They always leave that part out. He said, look, I healed you. Now go and sin no more. Stop your sinning, right? But he treated that woman with respect and dignity because they were trying to kill her. And he said, no, I'm not going to kill her. For what? And give her the mercy that she needs to get herself right. So remember, he said, I call the sinners to repentance, not, the righteous. You know what I'm saying? I come to call this. What good is it if I just kill her and not give her a chance to repent? Right? So I hope y'all all got something out of that. I pray that, you all see that Yahawashi is the greatest leader that we've ever had. And we can all just be like him if we apply some of the principles and traits that he did. Okay? And with that, I say Shalom and Shabbat.
Told the lady to go on and send her more. Faithful, sane, and worthy of all